What is up, dudes and lady dudes? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. I am here today. Seth is here too. There she
Hi.
is. And we've got Metalfoes cards revealed, okay? Like a week ago, we got art revealed for these in the OCG. They just put it up like to promote Blazing Vortex, and now we have all, 5 cards. I've read none of these cards so far. Yep, it's 5 cards. I'm pumped, okay? I'm not a big Pendulum guy, but this and Zefra are like the only 2 Pendulum decks that I really legitimately think are very cool. So hopefully these 5 cards get the job done and bring Metalfoes up to speed with the current state of the game. So without further ado, let's jump in with our first card here. I haven't looked at these at all, so I'm reading these for the first time. This is Metalfoes Melcaster. Okay, this is one of the cards that was on the artwork. It's obviously a fire psychic pendulum effect monster. It has a pendulum scale of 1, and it's level 7 with 2,000 attack and 2,500 defense, so pretty big stats, and it's also another level 7 to pair with Volflame, which is actually pretty good, so that maybe even... what's that card called? Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon plays become a little bit more easy, and that's a pretty good negate, right? Anyway, let's start off with the effects here. I believe this is the Pendulum effect. Yep, once per turn you can target one other face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, set a Metalfoes spell or trap directly from the deck. Same thing all the Metalfoes do, but this one actually has a monster effect as well, whereas most of the other ones are vanillas. Okay, obviously you can only use this effect once per turn. If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can add 1 face-up Metalfoes Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand, except for itself, but you cannot activate a card with that name in your Pendulum zone for the rest of the turn. Okay, so if this card's destroyed, it's going to get you something from your extra deck back to your hand. Any Metalfoes Pendulum monster that's faced up in the extra deck. Okay, so kind of get something back. Nothing crazy. It's not crazy, but it's not terrible. Definitely recycling stuff back to your hand to re-establish scales, get you extra pops. Although you can't activate it in your Pendulum scale, but you can potentially Pendulum summon it out just to get extra bodies out. So not a bad card. Definitely not. I think it's pretty cool. Not bad. I think it's a +1, right? Because you'd go... Well, it depends. Pendulums are a little bit weird with whether stuff is pluses or not, but I think it's a good start, okay? We'll take that. It's another good name. Next up, we have Metalfoes Vanisher. This is a level 9 fire psychic monster, 2,900 attack, 1,900 defense. This is a main deck boss monster, and he has a pendulum scale of 1, so nice and low. You can only activate his pendulum effect once per turn. If a monster or monsters you control is destroyed by card effect, you can add 1 Metalfoes card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, got some recursion in the pendulum scale, and all it takes is to destroy any card you control, which you do yourself, and your opponent could also do, so you could trigger this on your opponent's turn. That's pretty good. Get you something back from grave, whether it's like a fusion card or one of the traps, or somehow if one of the monsters ended up in there by, I don't know, if you discarded them or got them into the grave somehow, that could work. Okay, not bad. I like that it's different. And his monster effects both are hard once returns as well. The first effect says you can target 2 face-up cards you control, including a Metalfoes card. So one of them has to be a Metalfoes card. Destroy them, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand. Okay, so you got to pop 2 cards you control, including a Metalfoes, to just drop this guy out of the hand. Okay, and if this guy is special summoned by a Metalfoes card's effect, you can target 1 card, 1 monster your opponent controls, or in their graveyard, and banish it. Okay, now that is spicy, because he summons himself, so that'll trigger that second effect to banish something from field or grave, and it's a monster. That's strong. It does target, but banishing is still good. I don't even care. Plus, there is the Pendulum Trap. I'm trying to remember which one it is. Pendulum Trap. Is it combination or counter? I want to say it's counter, but one of them just special summons a Metalfoes straight out of the deck when a card you control is destroyed. So you could just potentially just special this guy straight out of the deck on your opponent's turn to just banish a card. And I actually theorized this card when I was did a video for Metalfoes, saying what I'd like to see for the Metalfoes support, and I said literally give us a monster that on summon like destroys something, but this banishes, so it's even better. Pretty good. I think that's a pretty good monster. It is high level, so that's the one awkward thing, is it does not fit in the scales. So he does need to be summoned off a Metalfoes card, but I think it's still a pretty powerful one of, and I'm not complaining. It still can be a scale, worst case scenario, and get you an add back. So totally works there. Taking us to our next card, we have a Fusion Pendulum monster. Okay, so these are a little awkward. This is Metalfoes Vanisher. Ugh. This is another Fire Psychic Fusion effect monster. It is a scale of 8, and it's a level 7 with 2,500 attack and 2,000 defense. You can only use this card name's Pendulum effect once per turn. If a face-up Metalfoes card or card you control is destroyed by card effect, you can target one face-up card on the field and destroy it. Very, very nice. You pop cards. You pop your own cards all the time, and this just allows you to get a free pop on your opponent's side of the field for free. Love it. It's just extra. It's just free. Like, you're going to pop your own stuff. Your stuff's going to be destroyed all the time. You just get an extra pop out of that. It's a nice scale effect, but keep in mind this doesn't really end up in the scale super easily. All right, in its monster effects, it takes one Metalfoes monster plus a fusion monster, so it does kind of have some hefty cost. You do already have to put a fusion and another Metalfoes into him, but we'll see what he does. His first effect is a hard once per turn, and it reads, if this card is special summoned from the extra deck, you can target one card your opponent controls, shuffle 2 face-up pendulum monsters from your extra deck into the main deck, and if you do, destroy that target. Okay, so just on summon, just destroy a card. It's pretty good. Targeting destruction, but on summon is pretty quick. That's kind of cool. And we do have the quick play spell to fuse him out to get this pop, so it can be a disruption. And the second effect says if this card in the monster zone is destroyed, you can place this card in your pendulum zone. Okay, so that's kind of cool. He comes out to pop something, and if he is destroyed, he goes back into your pendulum scale to then just apply you further support, get you these extra pops. I think it's a pretty good card. I don't think it's amazing, but it might be a one of in the strategy. Kind of a cool card, not disappointed at all. Taking us to a new Link monster, all right? Electromite's banned, so we'll see if this makes up for it. So this is Heavy Metalfoes Amalgam. He's another Fire Psychic, Link 2 with 2,000 attack. I love Link 2s that are big and beefy. His arrows are left and right. That's kind of awkward. We'll see what his effects are, but that is a little bit awkward, I will say, for a Link monster for a Pendulum archetype, because obviously you want to open up zones down below, but clearly you're going to have to already open up a zone for him, most likely. All right. He takes 2 Metalfoes monsters, so he is specific to the Metalfoes archetype, which is fine, and you can only use his effect once per turn. If this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard by card effect, you can activate one of these effects. First effect is target a Metalfoes monster you control, equip this to it as a equip spell, and have it gain 1,000 attack. Or target one Metalfoes card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon this card. Okay, so interesting. So he's either just going to give equip to something and give a 1,000 boost to something. Keep in mind, if he does do an interesting play like equipping to Alcahest, I believe Alcahest says that all cards equipped to it actually can be used as fusion material. So he could give you a buff and then also count as fusion material for later on. But also, this other effect is the big one, I think, right? You're going to pop a Metalfoes card, and if you do, summon this guy back. So you could pop a scale after you've fused him off to then summon himself, and then from there, he would open up zones, because if he's reborning from grave, he doesn't have to go to the extra monster zone. So he would open up better zones for if you haven't pendulum summoned yet, to get more bodies from the extra deck out onto the field. Which is interesting to note. He's kind of awkward. He's a little bit weird. He definitely doesn't do exactly what I was expecting / hoping, but they already have Electromite, and at some point they'll get Electromite back. But for now, he's interesting. I'm curious what plays there are, and obviously it's kind of hard to first time reading this, put this all together. It's all just like a puzzle. It's hard to put it all together and exactly how it fits, exactly how combos would go. But I do think there probably will be a place for this card in the strategy. Which then takes us to our final card here. We have Metalfoes Fusion. We have a new fusion card for the archetype. Okay. This is a normal spell. You can only activate it once per turn. Not surprising. This card says, fusion summon one Metalfoes fusion monster from your extra deck using up to one monster each from your hand, field, and or among face-up pendulum monsters in your extra deck as fusion material. Wow, that's actually really cool. So it allows you to use face-up monsters to fusion summon. I'm curious how that works, because it sends them to grave, but I guess pendulum monsters only go back to the extra deck if they're sent from field to grave, not extra deck to grave. So they probably would end up in grave, which is actually good, because you have cards like Mithrilium and stuff that like actually need to like shuffle Metalfoes cards from grave back into the deck, and like you have like floaters that get like, I think Mithrilium, didn't she get you something back from the grave, or does she get something from, I can't remember. Some one of them floats, like I think from grave, but you just might not have something from grave. But this is really cool. I like this a lot. Oh, I think combination also summons you it works. There's actually weirdly Metalfoes cards that do stuff in the graveyard, but because it's a pendulum deck, a lot of the times your Metalfoes monsters don't even end up in the graveyard, so it's like a little bit awkward. This will help a lot by just sending those to grave, getting them set up so that later on you can Mithrilium guaranteed get that removal effect, float into certain stuff, use combination if combination is still a card worth playing in the strategy. I think it's pretty good. I like that a lot. I think it's really nice. I think you might play one each of all the fusion spells, honestly, because they're so searchable. But also they offer their own key distinct differences. But yeah, I think that's going to do it. Those are the 5 new Metalfoes cards for us here. Keep in mind, guys, I have not played Metalfoes in so long because, you know, they haven't been good for a while, and Electromite got hit, so I didn't really have much motivation to really go out and build Metalfoes. So I haven't played them in a while, so definitely let me know if you think I missed anything here. If you think there's any specific applications that I'm not seeing, I'm definitely curious to see on that. But I think it's all good. I think almost all of them are playable, more or less. Like, I don't think any of them are specifically bad. I think this card's a welcome main deck monster. This guy's a welcome card to be summoned straight out of the deck. Which is really cool. This is a nice like card that just gives you removal on removal. This guy has like awkward combo potentially for like a way to link up really high, and then you've got the fusion as well, which helps you make really efficient use of your extra deck monsters, or your face-up pendulum monsters in the extra deck. So I think it's all good here. I really do. Let me know what you think on this stuff. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it not going to be enough? Is it going to throw this deck into competitive play? Who knows? Let me know what you think, though. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm going to end this video off here. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more news videos in the future, and to see this little turd's face again in the future, too. No. Yeah. But yeah, that's going to do it. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.